Hey guys, it's Marcy Double Diamond with It Works, and I just wanted to do a video on leadership because I think that leadership is a pivotal part of any team. And knowing that you need to be a leader and stepping up to it and realizing how important you are on your team and the team in whole is so important. And so I just want to give some tips that you can ask yourself and some advice. By no means is this advice 100% you have to do it, whatever. These are just some things that resonate with me and that I found important and that I want you to kind of question in yourself as well. I know I am not, 100% the best leader ever. When I joined a year ago, I was not planning on leading 83 distributors. I never dreamed of that. So it's learning as you go. But the most important thing, like I said, is realizing that you are a leader. Even if you don't have anyone underneath you yet, you can build those leadership skills so that when people start to come, you are ready, you're prepared. Or even if you just have a distributor under you, you're their leader. And I know there's some cases where maybe the people under you weren't ones that you personally enrolled. Well, you're still a leader. You still are at a certain rank. So you can start to fine tune your leadership skills and just start believing in yourself in that way and bringing what you have special to the table, because each one of us come with different tips and tricks and life experience that makes us all unique, and that's stuff that we need to pull from on this team. And the other important thing is, if you are a leader and you've had people sign up, everyone joined this team because they trusted somebody. So if somebody trusted you and they joined this team, they need you. They saw something in you, whether it's your journey, they've known you forever, they trust you, or they just know you're cutthroat, no bullshit kind of person. And if you said this is a good idea, they believe in that. Or if they just love the products and knew you sold them, they joined the team. Any of those situations, they signed up with you. You need to be there for them. Every step of the way, checking in on them, whether they respond or not. They'll still say, oh, she's still trying. She still, wants me around. She's there when I'm ready. And if you're like, oh, you take a day off, take a weekend off, it's a holiday weekend, that, don't take the whole weekend off, still do posting and, blitzing at barbecues and things like that. But if you take time off and you kind of step back from that leadership role, when you decide that you're ready to come back and be a leader, those people might not be there, or they might be a little standoffish, or they might not trust in you because maybe when they needed you, you weren't there. So you need to make sure you're constantly up to the plate and ready for it. And I know I'm here. When people join the team, I send, a welcome message within the first 3 days, introducing myself, who I am, blah, blah. If you need help, here I am. And I am totally fine to work with everyone. I love it. It's super cool. But these people didn't sign up for me to lead them. Maybe, your best friend since you were 5 signed up. I'm here for her, but she signed up because she wants you. I can be the step parent. That's totally fine, but they want you. So finding that all out and putting your own twist on it and things like that's what's important. And that's what this team needs. This team needs a ton of strong leaders that bring different perspectives and are ready to roll. So I had watched a video on John Maxwell. I'm in the process of reading one of his books. He just is the leadership guru. So I kind of just have some notes and things like that I want to share that are important. So yeah. So one of his quotes is, leadership is not a noun, it's a verb. We know, English teacher, verbs are actions. Leadership is not just saying, I'm the leader. Leadership is showing. I showed a picture of, here's my new dream board that we did at the team meeting, things like that. How can I expect you to do that at your house if I'm not doing it? He has a rule that's called the law of the lid. So think of a pot, you have your lid on the top. Learn how to lead if you want to be effective. You have your pot. If you're leading at a 4 or 5, so say your lid's so far up. If you're leading at 4 or 5, your downline's only going to function at a 3 or 4. That boiling water can't go above the lid. So if you want your people to be super effective and like just bringing it and, making your paycheck rise, you need to be doing that too. You need to be showing them how to be super successful with this, because if you're up here doing super awesome, then they can keep going. But if you're down here, they're only going to be up there. Now, I know that sometimes you can go past that because the person that I'm placed under, I've surpassed her. But it's pretty rare. It doesn't happen a lot. And it's because my direct upline or my enroller was Tara, and she worked with me as opposed to the person I'm placed under. But if you want your team below you to do good and you're the leader, guess what? Follow the leader. You need to show them how to do good. So you need to stop and think, if you want to be successful, they need to be active. Are you active? Are you active on our team page? I know there's a ton of team pages. They're all great, but make sure you're plugging into ours, because that's where we have our little close-knit family of kind of our area, and obviously we're growing, things like that. Are you going to meetings? Those are important. Those are once a month, couple hours. I know there's travel issues, things like that, but you have to be there. The people that are there say they leave, they feel refreshed, they feel whatever. It's not that we're necessarily learning a ton, but we're bonding. We're getting to know each other outside of just this crazy rap thing. And I'll talk about that more in a second. Are you posting on Facebook? I can't say, hey, you should post more of this when I'm not posting, because guess what? Law of the lid. If I'm not doing it, they're not going to do it either. Online parties, when we have the online parties, or when Tara does or whatever, are you being a part of it? Because how can you say, hey, my downline, you should be doing that, but I'm not. They're not going to trust that. They're not going to do it just because you tell them to. They're their own business owner. They don't have to do what you tell them to, but if they see you're doing it and they see your success, guess what? They're going to want to do it too. Planning with the uplines and downlines, or as I like to call it, plotting to take over the world. Are you plotting with the people below you? Are you plotting with the people above you? Because chances are the people above you want to work with you and want to give suggestions on how you can build your team to be successful. So make sure you're touching base with everyone. Or if you know somebody else is going Ruby, talk to them and see what they're doing and some tips and advice or what's working for them. And maybe it's something you want to implement. And if you aren't doing some of these things to be plugged in, like I said, why should they be? You lead by example. And he has the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, which I just picked out the ones I like because we don't want to do 21. So we did the law of the lid. And if you don't know how to be a leader right away because you've never been put in that position, I know I had never been a leader before. I mean, whatever random stuff, but not really. Fake it till you make it. We say that when you're trying to get loyal customers and you're in your first month. Fake it till you make it. Talk like you know what you're doing. Even if you have a question, you're like, oh, so-and-so wants advice and I don't know what advice to give. Ask me. I'll say, hey, respond to them, give them that advice. And then you can learn how to respond and how to tweak things to make it be authentic to you. Because the most important thing is make it authentic to you. Because then people trust you when they know this is you, this is your honest opinion and things like that. And then you get that bond and friendship back and forth. And the law of influence. So you want to influence the people that you're leading. Hopefully it's positive, because if you're putting a negative influence on the people you're leading, guess what? They're not going to do anything. Your business is not going to grow, or it's going to crumble. So you want to be positive. And it is relationships that build leaders. That's why I said it's so important to be active on our page. Get to know the people that are on our team. Get to meetings, get to different random events and fairs and different things or not fairs, but, vendor events. Anything where we're together as a team, or if somebody's hosting a party and you have nothing going on, go help them host it. I mean, just team camaraderie is important, because do these people trust you? Do they trust the advice you're giving them? If they don't trust you, they're not going to listen to a word you say. It's going to fall on deaf ears and you're wasting your time and theirs. More importantly, do they respect you? Do they see that you're not only saying I'm doing steps to be double diamond, but I'm actually, or saying it, but I'm actually doing it. I'm actually taking those steps. I signed a DT today. I signed some loyals last week, things like that. Or I'm posting to try to plant more seeds. I'm doing videos to try to grow my team. I'm doing these things, so hopefully you can see that, yes, I am working my tail off to, not only maintain double diamond, but to set my future up for triple and whatever else. And also, are they connected to you? I try to post and comment on everybody's stuff, not only to help the Facebook, algorithm, but to be part of your guys' life. I mean, I want to see pictures of you, on vacation with your family or drinking your greens up looking at the bridge, Kelsey, or how you're using your money to remodel your upstairs like Kaylee shows. I mean, I want to see what this is doing for you and how it's changing your life. I want to, get to know you guys personally as well, because it just helps me to lead you, because if I know your goals, then I can help you work towards them and things like that. And also, that's how I want the people underneath me to lead. I want you to get to know each other, to build those relationships, to trust each other. So I'm hopefully sometimes leading by example, and it's rubbing off on some, is my goal. We'll see. So I also have to stop and say, if you're not surrounded by the team of people that you've built, if they're not responding to you or not showing up for stuff, that means you're not connected to them. If you send somebody a message and they're not responding for a couple days, or you've sent somebody a message 4 times, you've either never had that connection with them or you've lost it. Sometimes it's on you as the leader, sometimes it's on them and they're not reachable, and the best thing you can do is just wait patiently and hope that it comes back around, because it's not going to be 100% success rate all the time. But as long as you're doing what you need to do to try to be successful, that's all you can hope for and ask. And of course, if you're having that issue of people not responding, get with other people on the team and try to figure stuff out. Another one is the law of navigation, and he has a quote: "Anyone can steer a ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course." So I could, hold up a chart, if I had one, and say, okay, here you go, so-and-so, here's your path. You need this, that, and the other. There you go. Well, that is true. That's great. But it takes a real leader to say, okay, you have so-and-so here. Now you're talking to them. Okay, well, I'd put them here. Oh, you think you're going to get another one? Okay, well, let's do this, that, and the other. Does that sound good? Oh, you have that idea. Okay, well, and just tweak it and work with them. This isn't a dictatorship, so whatever I say doesn't have to go. Take it and weigh it around in your head and figure out what works best for you. I know I was placed in a DT today and kind of talking to a couple people, like, what do you think? Is this going to work for you? Will this be the best for that leg of team, that branch, whatever? And I got feedback and things like that, and I did what I thought was best. And that's what you need to do with the people underneath you. And if you have that connection with them and they trust you and they respect you, then they're going to listen to what you say. If they don't, then you're on your own. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. And break down their dreams and make a path for them to follow. So they say, I want to hit Ruby by July. Okay, let's break it down. Like August. Okay, so by the end of June, you should have executive. So let's build you to executive. And then we're going to push really hard in August again and hopefully get you 3 more DTs, and we'll get them filled up and you'll be Ruby. Break it down. Don't just say, here's a chart, good luck, and do the steps to success. You're going to break it down, work with them, check in with them, be there to answer questions, things like that. Like I said, I get messages from people way below me. I'm not even sure who they are, but that's totally cool because I'm here to help. We are all one team. But I just have to stop and say, oh gosh, I hope that they're coming to me just because I'm double diamond and they want to hear what I have to say, and not because they're not getting that help from leaders somewhere else in the chart. Then there's the law of magnetism. Who you are is what you attract. So think of what you want to attract, and are you those things? I, of course, my team want people that like to have fun because I like to have fun. I want people that are honest and trustworthy, and I want people that are hard workers. I am all of those things for the most part. And you have to take a real honest look on what you want on your team, because you might want some different things. You might want people that are crazy blitzers and want to have parties at least once a week. And maybe if I were to say that, I'd have to stop and say, I'm not someone that necessarily wants to host a party every week. So how can I expect that from people? So I probably won't attract people that want to have parties every week. Just, they might find somebody that's constantly posting pictures of having the parties and doing things like that. You are what you attract. If you're attracting DTs that are signing up and not really doing anything, are you a DT that is doing stuff, to put it kind of nicely, or are you just kind of floating through? If you're not going to different events and meetings and being plugged in, you're probably either going to attract other people with that same mindset, or they're going to kind of transform into doing the same thing too. And that's when teams and things like that start to get a little scary, because things start to crumble and rebuilding has to happen. So there's the law of the picture. People do what they see, which kind of touches on what I just mentioned. Do you do what you say you will? So when people sign up and you're saying, okay, I'm going to help you do a launch party, I'm going to help you get set up on eSuite, things like that. Are you doing that? Are you providing them every opportunity that they deserve and giving them their all? Or are you saying, hey, we'll do a launch party in 2 weeks, and then you never mention it again? Bad idea. You're starting out with that mistrust. Are you putting in time and doing even extra for some? To make this a successful business and any job, you have to put in time. If you're making a couple $100 with this, I hope you're putting in some time. If not, you're not going to be making that couple $100 too long, because things are going to start to crumble around you. You have to put in time. When people see you're putting in time, that you're plugged into different things like that, it inspires them to want to do that. Are you pushing yourself, or are you just kind of floating by? I know it's really easy to get comfortable, especially when you just promote and you're like, whew, that was a lot. I'm just going to kind of, lay low for a little bit and kind of rest back up. You can't. You have to keep getting loyal customers. You have to keep building your team to get loyal customers. As you build and you get 80 some people under you, you start to get a little more room to work your business how you want, focus on what you want, because you have so many people helping you. But if you just have like 2 distributors, 5, 10, 20 even, you have to be pushing yourself and pushing them to push themselves. And another law of the picture, people do what they say. Are you plugged into the team? Or is this on the back burner? People can see, people can tell that this is not your first priority. And that is fine. This has to be no one's first priority. But if it's not your first priority, how can you expect it to be anyone else's first? Do as I say, not as I do. You have to be willing to make sacrifices. Not to toot my own horn, which I know it sometimes comes across as that possibly. Me making time to do team meetings, or to go do host a party, or to sit at Frontiers for a weekend, is it necessarily the way I would like to spend all my free time? No, but my paycheck's worth it. This team is worth it, so I'm willing to sacrifice. Now, do I have to change my schedule? Yes. I have 2 other jobs that require my time as well if I would like to be paid. I have a child I have to find daycare for, or, my mom or somebody to watch him. I make it work, because you know what? It works as a priority for me. I see where it's taking my future. I will not put it on the back burner. Nothing will stand in the way of that. It is my priority. The people that sign up with me know that. I hope people on the team know that. If you want people to have that same passion, they have to be able to see it in you. You cannot expect somebody to be all in with this if you're not all in. And if for the moment you're not all in, fake it. Fake it, fake it, fake it. And hopefully something will click in you and you will be all in as well. I don't know. You just have to make sacrifices for what you really want. And anything in life, obviously, the sacrifices you're going to make for this are going to just pay out tenfold. I promise. Then one of the last ones was the law of the big the big momentum. We felt this in March and April when we were signing people like crazy. There's still some legs that are signing people like crazy. They're still building on that momentum. There's other spots that are experiencing the reverse of that. But the part of the big mo is everything's exaggerated when it's positive. When one good thing happens, like say you wake up and you find $20 in your pants pocket got washed. That like sets you up for a great day. Or if you're a teacher and you wake up and there's a snow day, you're like, yes, the rest of my day is perfect because guess what? It's a freebie day off of work. So things like that just keep rolling into more positive things. So when we were adding people like crazy, it's like, oh my gosh, like this is just amazing. It's positive, whatever. Well, then when it starts to slow down, because guess what it does? Some of these last longer than others. Then it's negative. It's like, oh my gosh, we're never going to add anyone. We're never going to do anyone. I know I was having like a loyal customer drought where it's like, I will probably never add another loyal customer for the rest of my life. Like seriously. And then all of a sudden, bam, I got 3 in one day after a photo shoot. And I was like, holy cow, this is awesome. So then it kind of changed the pace again. So be aware of that. If your team's building and they're building like crazy, like just keep pumping it. Feed that excitement and that positivity and that momentum. Just keep feeding it any way you can. Surge it down through your team. And if you are experiencing the opposite, the negative mo, end it. Stop it. Even if it's not loyal customers or DTs coming in, figure out a way to spark some excitement. I don't necessarily know exact ways. It's something that we could deal with on a one-on-one basis. Like, I don't know what to do with this part. Well, okay, let's talk, let's strategize, let's plot to take over the world, and go from there. But you can't let it keep going, because if it keeps going, you've lost your team and you're rebuilding, or you've lost your business as well. So it has to be stopped. And when you're getting people on your team, you need to help them to grow. When you're getting distributors, recruit wisely. The better people you bring in, the better your chances of success. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, this person's so popular and they know so many people. That doesn't mean they're going to be successful, because guess what? They might not talk about the business. Or I'm going to get in so-and-so because they had great results with a product. Doesn't necessarily, again, mean they're going to talk about it or they're going to know the right people, whatever. But you never know who you're going to recruit and how it's going to turn out for you. The problem is when you recruit somebody and you know they're not interested and you know they have no intentions of doing anything with this business, and all they're going to do is drain you and suck the life out of you because you're going to try and you're going to try and you're going to try. Hopefully, that's what you should be doing. And nothing's going to happen. That's okay. I'm not saying don't sign them up, but just be mindful that you're signing up and like maybe not going to change the world or promote because of them. They're just going to be there. So try to recruit wisely. Try to recruit people that you see things in them that would be an asset to the team. Like the DTI recruited today, she's so excited. She's busted her butt trying to save some extra money so she could do this without, cutting into bills and things the family needs and stuff like that. So I know the level of dedication that she had to make that happen. She's bringing that to this business. And I am just so excited that she is just ready to go, and she's just genuinely so happy for it. And that somehow she was attracted to what I was posting and things like that, to where she was confident that this was the right team and right spot and I was the right leader for her. So when you get your new DT, you're positioning them, find their niche. Some people are great at Facebook posts, create Facebook posts. Encourage them to do that. I know there's some people I encourage. I'm like, you have really just awesome posts that set you out and you're different and you're definitely not an ad. Like, this is your way to grow your business. And hopefully model it enough to where the people under you are seeing that. Or I know I'm more confident talking about being a distributor or things like that face to face with somebody, not necessarily in the party scene. Well, I guess I should specify party, like a rap party. The other party I can talk to. I'm good doing the face to face. Sometimes when I type the stuff, I am just like word vomiting all over them and it's too much. So find what you're good at, their niche. Help them to reproduce it more. So to do that, you're going to encourage them. You're going to say, oh my gosh, like I will sometimes, occasionally, a lot, send people a message like, hey, that post you just did 20 minutes ago, that was super. That was awesome. Or, hey, that post you did, just want to give you a little fine tweak, like do it this way instead or say it this way, just because I want them to build and I want them to know, like, yeah, I'm watching. Yeah, it's awesome. But just focus on the good and the bad. I mean, you have to help guide them because they don't know. That's your job as a leader, to help them know what's working, what doesn't, what's allowed and what's not. Sometimes with, saying like inch lost, how many, things like that for compliance, covering our own asses. But yeah, just help them expand on what they do really good at and also help push them out of their comfort zone on certain things and encourage them when they do. I love it when somebody's like, I'm doing this and I'm scared shitless, but I'm going to do it. And it's like, awesome. I can't wait to hear about it. I hope it goes good. Like, even if it doesn't, like nothing results of it, you're going to be so proud of yourself for pushing yourself and doing that. Just be there. You need to be their cheerleaders. They're telling you that because they want to get your reaction, get your tip and advice, and get your encouragement. They want you to encourage them. And as leaders, you need to do that. And then equip them. Model what to do. Model how you want them to post on your own. Model that you want them to have wrap parties. Have some wrap parties. Help people have wrap parties. Model how you want them to use the products, how you want that. Just do all of that. Help them along the way, of course, because it's a lot to take on in the first week, month, whatever. So you need to model it. And then you're going to move on to modeling how you want them to be a leader. They've obviously watched you as their leader from the beginning, but then you need to help them. And that's a process that never stops. I still am working on some of my different leadership type things, and I'm constantly working with leaders on, hey, maybe say that different, or don't say that at all, or, things like that. Do they have to listen? No. It's just tips and advice and going back and forth because we all are here to grow together. We're all here to grow our businesses together. We all want to be successful with this. If we didn't want to be successful with this, we wouldn't have signed up. If you don't feel you can be successful with this, stop, pause, think about why you're thinking you can't be successful. I'm here. I'm proof you can be. Decide to be all in. Bust your ass. Be a leader. The rest will fall into place. I promise there's easy steps to follow. Just be all in. Be all in on everything. Your Facebook posts, meetings, anything you can do, get your hands on. If you need a boost pick-me-up call, message me. I'll give you my number. We can talk strategy. I have no problem with things like that. I want us all to be successful. I know we can all do that. And I want you to instill those beliefs in the people below you too. And that's why I'm so passionate about this and strong leadership and just building each other for success, because that's what's important. I love you all. Have a great holiday weekend. Bye.